What's up, you Flux Automator, you, and welcome back to the channel. And I'm gonna say something straight off the jump. The Neo 2 might actually be the best DJI gadget ever made. And that might sound a little bit crazy because DJI has dropped a ton of amazing drones over the years, but this one feels a little bit different. Now, it's not because it's the most powerful drone, because it isn't, or that it has the best camera ever, because it doesn't, but because it makes flying easy and so much fun, then you end up using it more than the drones that are better on paper. So today I'm going to break down what the Neo 2 does insanely well and where it falls short, and who is this drone really for? This isn't first drone hype.
Now, initially I wasn't disappointed. I had all these great ideas of what I was going to do with it and how great it was going to be, and the price of it was good, and then 2 weeks later.
On this channel, I have flown a lot of DJI gear. I own the Mini 5, the Mini 4, the Avata 2, and the Flip. And I've spent enough time in DJI land to know the difference between a drone that is cool for a week and a drone that becomes part of your everyday kit. So when I say the Neo 2 is special, I'm comparing it to stuff I've actually used. So what actually is the Neo 2? The simplest way to describe it is the Neo 2 is DJI's smallest, safest, grab-and-go camera drone. So it's built for people who want aerial shots without needing the full control setup, without a long flight routine, and without feeling like you're piloting a spaceship every time you fly. The drone is basically DJI saying, let's make a drone that feels like an everyday accessory. And before I hit you with some of the downsides, here's the part that made me go, wait, what? So this pocket drone has a 1/2 inch CMOS sensor and real obstacle avoidance, and like 8 control modes, including FPV compatibility, in something that you can literally launch off the palm of your hand. So yeah, there are some cons, but let's keep that in mind when we go through them. Now, who is this drone actually for? So I'm gonna say it's creator first. If you're shooting travel, city walks, EDC content outside, car content, hiking, biking, you don't always want to be pulling out a big controller, attach your phone, wait for your satellites, or do a full pre-flight check. The Neo 2 is for moments when you say, yo, I wish I had a quick overhead shot right now, and you can actually get that shot in seconds. So that was for the creators. So we look at the beginners next. So the Neo 2 might be the safest beginner drone DJI has ever made, and it doesn't punish you hard when you mess up. A lot of people want to fly drones, but the first time they hear the props spin up on that heavy drone, they just get nervous. The Neo 2 removes that fear. And next we have the FPV users. If you are FPV curious and you don't want to wreck your Avata 2 or bigger setup practicing manual mode, the Neo 2 is basically FPV training wheels that still shoots legit footage. So if that sounds like you, this drone is in your lane. Now, my overall verdict is this: the Neo 2 is not perfect, but the experience is so smooth and so fun that you forgive what is missing. So let's hit the weaknesses first. Honest and quick, then I'll get into why I think this drone is setting the trend for DJI. So con number 1, there is no true portrait mode. There's no proper vertical shooting, and the gimbal doesn't rotate like the mini series. So if your main thing is reels, TikTok, shorts, then you can crop later, but it's not the cleanest workflow. Number 2, wind resistance is limited. The Neo 2 is tiny, so in strong winds, don't even bother. In moderate winds, it will fly, but you'll see it working harder to stay stable. Footage holds up better than you expected, but if you live somewhere where it's windy all the time, the mini series still wins. Con number 3, no landing light. The Neo 2 doesn't have a landing light, so night flying is not really recommended. You might lift off, but landing safely in the dark is sketchy. Con number 4, camera isn't mini level crisp. It's a big upgrade from the Neo 1, but if you're expecting Mini 5 Pro sharpness, you won't get that here. This is convenience first, quality is strong for the size. Con number 5, no memory card expansion. So internal storage only, no SD card slot, so you can't hop swap cards on long trips. Con number 6, no D-Log M yet. So matching this to your Pocket 3 or your mini drones is harder until DJI add this. Number 7, no waypoints or missions. So no route planning, no preloaded paths. It's built for grab and go. Now, con number 8, the DJI US ban uncertainty. I know people worry about the DJI ban in the US, not Neo's fault, but worth mentioning. The Neo is already shipping and on sale, so buying it and flying it today is still normal. Okay, we're finished with all the downsides. Let's look at the up and ups. Now here is where the Neo 2 is different from a lot of drones out there. So Pro number one, the control ecosystem is insane. So the Neo 2 can be controlled in so many different ways. So you got gesture control, you got voice control, you got phone app control, intelligent auto flight modes, the RC N3 and RC2 controller, your Avata goggles and motion controller, the FPV controller and manual mode, and last of all, the head tracking mode. Whew. Okay, so here's why all that matters. Most DJI drones are either beginner or advanced. The Neo 2 is both. You can start on the gesture controls, then the app, then the controller, then the goggles, and then full FPV. So the Neo 2 will grow with you and you won't just grow it out within a month. So moving on, the camera upgrades that actually matter. So the Neo 2 has a 1/2 inch CMOS sensor. In this size and category, it's already wild. But DJI didn't stop there, they improved it in 3 core ways. So first, a wider aperture. It's an f2.2, which means more light coming in, cleaner low light shots, better shadows, and better cloudy day footage. Second is a 2-axis gimbal. The Neo 1 felt a little bit like a stabilized action footage. The Neo 2 feels like a real camera drone. Turning fast, stays nice and smooth. So third is the 4K slow motion. So we got 4K at 30, 60, and 100 frames per second. So aerial slow-mo looks legit. So with all that said, it's not gonna beat the Mini 5 Pro, but it's getting you a shocking amount of quality in something that you can carry literally anywhere. Moving on to the next point, we got real obstacle avoidance. So we've got LiDAR up front, rear cameras too, and 360-degree-ish coverage. In daylight, it works well, but just remember, forward avoidance is stronger than reverse, so fly smart in low light. Next point, durability equals confidence. So you got the prop guards, you got the bumpers, you got a tough frame, and because it's light, crashes aren't catastrophic. On bigger drones, you'll fly cautious because mistakes can be costly. With the Neo 2, you can fly with more creativity, so you can fly through tighter gaps, lower lines, and riskier angles. So that's why it's fun and not just useful. Next point is performance for the size. This thing moves. In a speed test, it outpaced the Flip in a straight push and kept up better than I expected with the bigger drones like the Mini 5 and the Mini 4 Pro. And remember, this is pocket size doing all of that. Okay, so size and weight reality. So it's 151 grams bare and about 156 to 170 when you add the rear attachment. So roughly in size, it's 17 by 17 by 4 centimeters. So with that said, it's easy to put in a sling, a jacket pocket, a side pocket, no stress. And honestly, the best drone is one that you can actually bring. The Neo 2 wins that fight, hands down. Next point, quality of life upgrades. So you got 49 gigabytes of internal storage, higher bit rate, faster transfers, built-in screen. You've also got the LED indicator that indicates blue for active, yellow for low space or not able to move correctly, and red for low battery or landing. All the little friction points that you have with the Neo 1 are now gone, which makes you actually want to fly this more. Okay, if you've made it this far, here's the real reason the Neo 2 matters. It changes how often you fly, and that changes everything. Let me explain. After actually using the Neo 2, it actually shifts your whole habit. I launch more often, I grab shots I normally wouldn't bother. It feels less like producing drone content and more like shooting video. I think it's like a camera that actually happens to fly. That daily carry vibe is what makes it special. Okay, now let's talk about value. So for the price, what you're getting, a 1/2 inch sensor, stabilization, obstacle avoidance, gesture flying, intelligent auto shots, FPV expandability, and the craziest control ecosystem DJI have ever put in one drone. There's nothing else at this price doing that. And if you already own the DJI goggles or controller, you can just buy the Neo 2 standalone and save a lot of money. So my final take, buy the Neo 2 if you want the easiest DJI drone to carry, the safest DJI drone to fly, a beginner drone that still looks good, a pocket FPV practice drone, and a grab-and-go creator drone that you'll actually use. Now I would say skip the Neo 2 if you need heavy wind performance, waypoint missions, and max sharpness for commercial work, because that is the Mini 5 territory. But if your goal is a drone that you pull out consistently, the Neo 2 might be the move. So yeah, I'm calling it. The Neo 2 is my gadget of the year 2025. If you want the full setting breakdown and a guide to using this with the goggles and the manual FPV, drop a comment and I'll make it in the next video. Okay, videos are on the screen right now. Links are in the description. If you're thinking of picking one up, it supports the channel a ton. And right now, thanks for checking in. I'm checking out.